Hi, have you heard of Otherkin? Let me take it up a step. Have you heard of Fictionkin? Until a few days ago, neither had I. But after finding out about this term and finding out about what they are, I'm really questioning it. My curiosity is piqued. There are things that I want to know. So hey, it's Triple L. In this video, we're gonna go through and investigate the community of people that go under the label Fictionkin. I'm not so much interested in what they are. I'm more interested in how they interact within their own community and with other communities on the internet. But before we get into that, I should tell you, what exactly are Otherkin and by extension Fictionkin? Well, let's begin with Otherkin. Otherkin are a subgroup of people who identify as physically human but spiritually something else. What does that mean? It means that they believe that their souls are not human souls, rather their souls come from other creatures such as dog, cat, mouse, dragon. You hear some of that and you can think, okay, well, I've kind of maybe heard about other religions saying that people can reincarnate into animals or whatever, but then you see dragon and then you're probably questioning, how is someone's soul a dragon? And this goes into the next aspect of Otherkin physiology. Otherkins in general prescribe to the idea of the multiverse theory, and in this variation of their multiverse theory, they posit that there are other universes where creatures such as dragons or mermaids or some other mythological thing exists. What happens is when those creatures in the other universes die, their souls reincarnate and they end up here as humans. That's how they justify how they can have a soul that comes from an animal that doesn't really exist. Fictionkin take it up to the next level. Instead of simply having other universes where fantastical beasts might exist, they've gone up another level and have other universes that reflect the stories of fiction that we have here. For instance, Pokemon. They could say that there is another universe that is the Pokemon universe, and Pokemon from there reincarnated into this universe. So someone could legitimately say that they have the soul of a Sableye or a Pikachu. Now you could say, wait, what's the difference between this and role-playing? They might just be playing pretend. Well, no, they would tell you no. Part of their soul has a component that comes from another world, and in this case, the Sableye. They identify as a Sableye. They want to do what the Sableye does. They would behave the way that this particular Pokemon does. So if this particular Pokemon puts gemstones in its mouth, they would identify and say that they have a feeling that they want to put gemstones in their mouth. If we go into another fictional character and that fictional character has a lot of trouble, they would take on those problems and say that they have those problems as well and feel that they have those problems as well. So it's pretty much role-playing with a lot more on the line. The point of this video, I don't care about what they are. I want to know how they interact with the world around them. And on that note, I'm going to go into this video with a level of detachment that I would like viewers to also have. At the end of the day, regardless of whether or not these people are correct or not, at the very worst, these are people who are having struggles with their identity. There's no need to make things worse for them. So with that, let's get into it. Let's explore Fictionkin. Okay, we're going to the land where these type of beings can frolic, Tumblr. And on here, we're going to be looking through just to find what exactly is going on. And we begin our journey with a very interesting chart. Mind you, there are two things on this chart that really shouldn't belong. It seems we found a pretty interesting post. Since it is Pride Month, here is a friendly reminder that Otherkin and Fictionkin identities are not genders or sexualities. Being Otherkin or Fictionkin only does not mean you are LGBT+. You can be both, but you cannot claim you are in the LGBT+ community just because you identify as Otherkin. If you see someone claiming otherwise, kindly inform them that the Otherkin is an entirely separate community from the LGBT+ community. My goodness. So, we can establish there is in fact friction between the LGBT community and the Otherkin community. Okay, just it appears to be people distinguishing the differences between Otherkin and the rest of the kin. Oh, here we go. We've got another excellent post. People who are valid members of the LGBT community. Well, we got quite a list here. Demisexuals, demi-romantics, anybody who is attracted to somebody of the same gender in any way, shape, or form. Okay, yeah, they're establishing. People who are not valid members, Otherkins, furries, Fictionkins, trans ages. What is trans ages? Wait, trans age. No, trans races. Okay, necrophiles. That's fair. Mogai identities. we'll just stick to these three. They're just pointing out being otherkin does not automatically grant you that label. And keep in mind, the labels is gonna be a big thing here. PSA to otherkin: stop using the term phantom limbs. This term was coined for amputees, not otherkin. Unless you are both, you cannot use the term phantom limb. Say astral limbs instead. That term was coined specifically for Therians and otherkin. Okay, everyone, we are now finding more vocabulary, specifically the issue of phantom limbs. What this refers to is simply the otherkin, and by extension the fictionkin. If they are, say, identifying as a dragon, they would have wings, and then they would, in their posts, you would commonly see them say, I really feel my wings today. That's what they're referring to. They're the wings that they would have had if they were actually a dragon. That's what they refer to when they say phantom limbs. Now, them saying astral limbs is just this person making the distinction, because as we see, there are lines apparently that should not be crossed. And astral itself is a pretty interesting word. Astral comes from the idea of the astral realm, and the astral realm itself is an idea that's present in a few occult religions, or not religions, but a few occult spiritual paths, like say Hermeticism or English esotericism. So they've just adopted an old term to their use here. I only have 3 moods: mopey boy, rowdy boy, needy boy. Well, it seems like being a fictionkin is very limiting for your self-expression. Lads, it makes me feel so uncomfortable how some of you will call things against being kin ableist. Like, yes, a lot of us kin are mentally ill, but kin in itself isn't a mental illness or anything related to it. This one seems like to be a positive post. Shout out to all my kin friends who feel like they can't be their kin type because of their personality. And you might be asking, what is a kin type? Well, that's just a term for categorization. For instance, a dragon kin is a kin type. A wolf kin would be a kin type, right? The kin type just describes what animal you are identifying as. To have their kin type invalid because of how impossible it is. How are you kin with a fictional character? You know they don't actually exist, right? They're just something someone created. If that thing was never created, you realize you wouldn't be kin with it, right? I mean, yeah, I think that's a really big one to just put there, but you guys are also valid. Not let people tell you otherwise. So ultimately, respect for this thing going on here, you know, calling them valid, because a big problem is that these people are going to get bullied a lot and they're going to be really depressed. So this is just damage control, though. This is just damage control. It's a member of the community trying to make their community better, or trying to make their community feel safe. Hello people, PSA that'll get hate sent at me. Don't celebrate pride as your kin. If you aren't LGBT+ in this community, you are an ally, not part of the community. If I see any more kinfolk saying they're celebrating pride because in my blank canon I was LGBT+, I get to celebrate as part of the community, I'm going to scream. Okay, so that's very interesting. This is specifically referring to the fictionkin, and it's a problem that's coming out whenever they're identifying as a character that was LGBT+, and then because of that they say that they are part of the community. Okay, that's a really interesting problem that you probably would not have expected coming out of this. Okay, the friction in the communities it's there. Apparently it's problematic to stab your brother. That's a funny one, that's clearly a joke. Fictionkin Confessions. Hello, I love absolutely all of you, even the ones from the sources that I've never heard of. You're all so valid and amazing and precious. I just wanted you to know that. That's just someone, again, trying to be nice to their community. Pidge is literally my worst kin type because I can never look for content of myself without feeling awful. I don't want to be shipped with anyone, I don't want to be called Katie, and I don't want to be referred by he, she, her pronouns. And that's all the tag consists of. I hate it. PG Holt. This person is referring to this character from Ultron Legendary Defenders. So this is a pretty interesting trouble to have in your life, right? Such that you are at a point where you identify as this fictional character and you hate seeing yourself get shipped with other people. This is a very special brand of problem to be having. But you read it, it really just does sound like this person is just having a bit of an ego trip because they think that they are getting shipped around with people. And it's funny, the biggest line here, can't look for content of myself without feeling awful. I imagine this is kind of how it works for celebrities, except, you know, celebrities are actually actively being judged by what they look like right now. Okay, but you know, this is one of the things that pops up, and when you hear their complaints, it kind of does sound like these people having or just kind of stroking their ego. It kind of does read like that when you're like reading these problems. Maps and no maps actually scare me. I do not know what that refers to. Otherkin are total bullshit. Sure, the people who believe that they were a random animal in their past life out of religious purposes are okay, but acting like you're still that animal or creature or thing is disillusional, and they need help. To any Otherkin, Fictionkin, blah blah kin reading this, you may have been whatever certain thing in your past life, but you're a human now. Behave like a functional member of a society. And that is an appropriate criticism. Oh, and here's another positive one. Kin tips. Don't let kin be the only thing about you. Don't let it be your one character trait. Take care of yourself. Eat. Don't care if you think you didn't have to as a dragon. Eat your damn food because you're not a dragon anymore. Again, someone's being nice. Someone's being supportive and doing damage control. I sure do seem to share a lot of canons with one of my best friends. I feel like this is wrong. I feel like we knew each other that good amount of times and that's it, no more. But here I am remembering a phrase they heard as someone they're questioning. Why does this happen? Why is it that I somehow end up sneaking my way into so many of their lives? It's fine if I didn't know them, so why did I always know them? Why is it that we know each other so many times? I don't want this. Okay, again, this is a very unique problem to have. This person is just complaining that they know so many people from so many fictional stories. Like, again, it sounds like an ego trip. Fictionkin Confessions is like really just bringing it at home. I'm going to scream. Someone decided they were Fictionkin with one of my original characters. What the heck? I put a lot of work into my original characters, but this one I poured my heart and soul into, and this person decided to steal my work and pretend to be her. They didn't even ask to roleplay as her, which is what they're really doing. This person took my work and claimed they know my character better than I do. They even took key components of who she is as a person, completely erased them, then acted like they have authority on her because they are her. So this is pretty much someone, an original creator made a character and a Fictionkin realized that they are actually that character. This is again a very unique problem to have. People saying me really bugs me because it's like appropriation of kin culture. I really don't know how to explain it, but saying you are someone without idling as them is really disrespectful. People get bullied and targeted. Did this person just outlaw saying me? This is a joke, right? In the nature of the last thing about the Fictionkin Everblaw, let me go on a bit of a spiel. Being Fictionkin does not give you the right to someone else's characters, whether they're published or not. It does not give you the right to dictate how other fans draw, write, cosplay, roleplay, etc. of that character. And it especially does not mean you know a character more than the creator because you are them. That is so rude and disrespectful. I don't care if you identify as Fictionkin, you do you, but claiming entitlement to a character that isn't yours isn't cool. So again, another one of those problems with people saying that they know characters better than them because they are them. Okay, so that was a journey. Let's stop there because I went through a lot reading all those things. So what do I have to say about Fictionkin right now? Well, you know, I'm not gonna go for the low-hanging fruit and just point out how stupid they are. You can find other videos on YouTube doing that. But what I do find interesting is just how the Fictionkin are interacting with other people on the internet. On this journey, we did get to see some extremes, but here's some thoughts I have. I have no problem with the Otherkin and Fictionkin if they're not hurting anyone first and foremost. I don't condone behaving like the creature you think you are. I do think it'd be better to adapt to the society which you are a part of now. The kin in general have a problem with romanticizing what they think are their past lives. Even in the accepted reincarnation religious systems, this isn't a healthy idea. There's a strong focus on moving forward into the future and not getting stuck in the past, which seems like what the Otherkin are doing in this situation. I like that people within their community are telling them that they are human now and reminding them of that. The whole claiming rights to characters, if people are doing that, they're just being jerks, and even by their own internal logic. If the multiverse idea is true, they have to accept that there is an infinite number of the same fictional world such that they can't claim right to all iterations of the same fictional character, just by the nature of the multiverse. The worst cases just seem like they have giant egos, and it seems like the Otherkin just want to say that they're more than just human. They have more on the inside, that they're not just a boring person. It just seems like they want ways to increase their self-worth. Is that unhealthy? In some ways, that's an entryway to delusion, But as long as they remember their human limits, I think it should be fine if they want to wear a badge that says like, hey, I'm actually a wolf. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Guys, what are your thoughts? Let me know down below, and also let me know of any crazy stories that you might have with Otherkin or Fictionkin. I'd be very interested in reading about that. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. Till next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.